Call Haloyim, Wahawad, La Yahweh Basham Yamshah, Basham Ruchakwadash, double understand the apostle of Great Millstone, rule well. Salutations to you, Akim, this laboring. Shalom to the few Akwaf that believe. Now, this is an article from blacklistednews.com. It's entitled The Horrifying Inflation Crisis That You Were Warned About Is Here. And I do believe that this is actually here. People are actually starting to feel the burn of the prices of these different commodities or goods inflating. Uh, you notice that shopping's not what it was before this pandemic happened. So uh, shopping has come down to a very low thing, as far as each so-called holiday season of America was a big shopping time of the year. You know, this abominable Thanksgiving and abominable Christmas. A lot of shopping going on around that time. What you see is that a big decrease. All right, this pestilence have everyone uh, inside because their dollar, their dollar that they thought was worth so much, they're starting to realize that it's really worth nothing. It's going to be completely nothing once it crashes, which we're headed to that. We've been speaking about it for a while, but now you get ready to see the world reserve currency, which is the U.S. dollar, a fiat currency. We get ready to see it crash. All right, just like the ancient denaro of the Roman society, the currency when it became the denaro, it crashed as well. All right, and everything about America is modeled after Rome. All right, everything about America is modeled after Rome. All right, just look at everything. All right, look at everything that, as far as the infrastructure, the political arena, all right, what have you, the language, all right, the English language itself stems from Latin. And pretty much when you see the U.S. dollar, you can see the same trend that the dinero had when Rome was on its way out, especially the fall of I believe it was the Western Roman Empire before Jake took it over. Now, this article right here, when I get into it, it says all of a sudden inflation is one of the most it's one of the hottest political issues in America. Most people seem surprised that inflation has gotten so widely out of control. But the truth is that this should not be a surprise to any of us. And it shouldn't, because if you've been observing the economy, you know that this economy has been circling the drain along with America itself for a long time. All right. If you've been observing, you've been watching the prophecies, you realize that this place is pretty much finished. All right, let's get Habakkuk real quick. I had James queued up, but I'm going to Habakkuk first and get that. Let's see, Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2, and we'll go right to the point. I'll start at 5. It says, Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, it is as death, it cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. As Esau, Edom, so-called white man. That's why America is known as a melting pot. All right, and America is in such great debt, man. It's ridiculous, man. Almost $30 trillion of debt it can never pay back. And here's the point. All right, speaking about that debt, verse 6. Should not all these take up a parable against him, and a telling proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Yeah, the clay represents the debt. All right, when you go to it, the debt this man hath collected unto himself, that he can't get out of. All right. All right. This is Strong's. Excuse me. The word for debt is let's see. I bought yacht. All right. It says weight of pledges. Well, I bought is the root word. Sorry. It says weight of pledges, heavy debts. It says something pledged. Which really is nothing. Let's click on the lexicon. See what we get here. It says pledging of goods, hence load of debt which one has contracted. See? So this man has an enormous amount of debt, or heavy load of debt that he's contracted that he cannot pay off. All right. I don't know why this page is starting over again, but Shalaki. Continuing on, it says, okay, where we at? Here we go. Come. It says, we have been warned for years that this was coming. Yeah, you got all the economic shows. Well, the economic shows I watch is Kaiser Report and Boom Bust. But we see that no matter what economic show you watch, if they have good insight, anybody that have common sense can see very well that the U.S. dollar is almost at its end. All right, it's almost at its end. It says, whenever our corrupt politicians in Washington authorize trillions more in spending that we couldn't afford, we were warned that this would eventually cause extremely painful inflation. But it didn't happen immediately, and so most Americans didn't take the warnings seriously. Most people over here are stupid that's living in America. Right? They don't take things seriously here. They don't take anything seriously in America. Right? Most people in America are just like zombies, man. It says, and as the experts at the Federal Reserve kept pumping trillions of fresh dollars into our financial system, we were warned that there would eventually be severe consequences. But those consequences did not arrive immediately, and so most Americans didn't take the warning seriously. But now a day of reckoning has arrived, and conditions are only going to get worse from this point forward. On Friday, the Labor Department informed us that the inflation rate is rising at the fastest pace that we have since 1982. Right? So it gives a little quote. It says, inflation is accelerated at its fastest pace since 1982 in November. The Labor Department said Friday, putting pressure on the economic recovery and raising the stakes for the Federal Reserve. The Consumer Price Index, which measured the cost of a wide-ranging basket of goods and services, rose 0.8% for the month, good for a 6.8 pace on a year-over-year basis, as the fastest rate since June 1982. So pretty much, well, to give you an example right here, it says back then, things sure have changed since 1982. Back then, the average price of a new vehicle was $7,983, and the average price of a new house was just $82,000. and 200. Yeah, if you look at the numbers, uh, we were just talking about it earlier. Man, I was talking with it earlier. I was at the health store earlier, uh, and this dude, he's an herbalist, pretty good herbalist. You know, we had a good conversation, but we were talking about the fact that we kind of talked about a few things. It's like yeah, so when we got on the economy, this guy was, you know, he was pretty well studied as far as knowing about the economy. He was an Edomite. All right, you know, he had the spirit of Edomite as well, but he was actually a knowledgeable guy. You know, he even went in about uh, biblical prophecy, which you know he was, you know, he still had that wacky tacky Christianity vibe, thinking everybody could be saved. But you know, he had a good conversation, uh, uh, me and him, and he knew that this U.S. dollar was getting ready to crash. He even spoke out against the pestilence, which he made perfect sense. And when he said everything, I was like, man, he on point with that, with the pestilence and the economy. But the scriptures, you know, as far as prophecy, he knew prophecy a little bit better than most wacky tacky Christians, but he was pretty studied. And the thing he said about the economy was people are not prepared for what's going to happen because what happens when he made an example of one of his products. He's like, what happened when this go from $30, $40 to $130? You know, are people prepared? He was like, no. So the point is that you know Esau's ruling. All right, this is Esau that you know he's even taxing the people. All right, all the taxes that he's increasing, but still, you know your time of enjoying the fatness of the earth is almost up because that's one of your blessings. Genesis the 27th chapter goes into the blessing. Right, the blessings where our forefather Isaac gave out the blessings. Our forefather Jacob got his, and Esau got his. Excuse me. So this is James 5:1 because this goes to you Richmond of this world. All right. It says, go to now, ye Richmond, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. You know the riches that you've heaped, all right, unto yourself are moth-eaten. All right. It says, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and ye shall eat your flesh as it were fire. It says, ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. You know, all the, what do you call them, the one percenters or the point zero, uh, point 0.004% people, basically the elites of Esau, man. They have all this uh, uh, massive wealth. See, everything going on in the world, they got all this wealth, and they won't even feed the poor, feed the hungry. Look at the state of the earth, man. Look at the people, all right, the inhabitants of the earth. The people, if you look at the people are in a worst case, all right. But Esau has the power. Right? Esau elites, they have the not power but money. All right, they have the money it needs to turn over this poverty. All right, that's going on in Babylon, which is America, and also the rest of the world. See, the U.S. dollar, as I speak right now, still, you go to most countries in the U.S. dollar, It's worth a lot because it's the world reserve currency. See? It says, verse 4, Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And pretty much that's going on right now. See? That's going on right now because when you look around, uh, the workers or laborers are kept back by fraud. All right? I don't know why this page ain't loading up. Slack it. There we go. Sometimes this internet go crazy. Let's see. Let's go here. Go to laborers.
Strong's G 2040. Ergates. Ergates.
It says a workman, a laborer, usually one who works for hire, especially in agricultural worker, one who does a worker, perpetrator. So pretty much was you mentioned agriculture. The agriculture took a big hit, The agriculture took a big hit. You look at the agriculture, it's man, it's crazy right now. But the point is, everything as far as concerned with this economy of Esau's, all right, is at its end. All right, the laborers in this society don't even get paid fair wages. Even Edomites, all right, your own people, Esau is crying out about the wages that they receive because it's not enough to keep up with the cost of living. See? And you got this guy Sleepy Joe Biden. The Democrats, all politicians promises things, but these so-called Democrats, or these Democrats are always talking about, oh, we're gonna increase the minimum wage to $50 an hour. They've been saying it for years. Never happened. Never happened. And $15 an hour is nothing. All right, $15 an hour is nothing. That's a joke in itself. Excuse me. That's a joke in itself. I've made money from as far as $8,000 an hour to $20 an hour. That's nothing. All right, $20 an hour is nothing really. All right, and if you do get that much money, you have to work so much overtime to even get it, and that would require you not to be at home as much, so you can't spend it how you want to spend it. It's just a real dire situation that you'll be in. Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. And the nations are mad because, excuse me, something that's not being spoken about as of lately, but it was being spoken about, the sanctioning, all right, because the U.S. dollar is used, all right, as a war tool because sanctions are an act of war. And the U.S. sanctioned all these countries, even its allies, all right, and their allies, the allies of this place are tired of you sanctioning them, especially over this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. All right, they do everything you want them to do, help invade and destroy these countries, all right, in all these unjust wars. And because the niggas out here shooting, and because you don't want them to get their natural gas from Russia, which is Gog and Magog in the scriptures. You're going to sanction, all right, or threaten sanctioning your own allies. It doesn't make sense, man. But it's befitting because we know that the book of Obadiah, when it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, roughly paraphrasing. So it's all befitting, man. All right. So the nations are mad about your sanctions. All right. Your sanctions are hindering their economy. All right, causing them to be grieved, and then the people of their land or their country to be grieved as well, whether they're allies or not. So people are tired, man. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. And that's the truth too, man. You can't heal this place. The Most High set up Esau in power. Now he's taking Esau out of power. Yeah, that's including society, his whole society. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaching unto heaven, it is lifted up even to the skies. Yeah, because the judgment of this place, is coming upon this place. Right, as I speak, I give out there speak, the judgment of America is far and great. And the reason why these things are happening to this place because the Heavenly Father, all right, the God of the Bible, all right, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua is getting ready to destroy this place. This is Babylon. This is Babylon the Great. See? And with all them sanctions, why you think it says in, Revelation 17 chapter, I brought this out the other week. Why you think it says what it says when it says that they should hate the whore? Revelation 17 and 16, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. It shall make her desolate and naked. It shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You know why? Because the Most High is going to pull the spirit, right, of NATO and the EU, all these NATO and EU countries to come against her. They're going to turn their nukes on this place. It's the will of the Most High, man. Because it goes to say in verse 17, for the Heavenly Father had put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. What's that great city? America, man. Who reigns supreme over the whole earth right now? What country? The U.S. That's why the U.S. dollar is the world reserve currency. See? Why do you think America has the many military what you call them, military bases all over the earth? All right, America is that great city, Babylon the Great. See, that's why the Most High is preparing this place into a destructive judgment, which he had a purpose for this place. See, so America is finished, man. America is through. We're just watching the end result play out. You see? Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we at the end of the world of Esau. And Jacob is coming up. That's why you see us doing these videos of edification and going out to highways and hedges, prophesying the downfall of this kingdom, just like the men of the Lord of old, the prophets of old did. Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. And is this not a great kingdom? Of course, it's a great kingdom of war and of evil and of pestilence. See? What we're telling you about war, evil, and of pestilence. So stay tuned because you're going to see more and more plagues hit this place. All right? You're going to see a total collapse of this dollar. We're going to live through and see this place come to naught. Okay? So with that, Lord willing, you are edified. At the next time, I say shalom.